Hello everybody, welcome to vlog number 11. My name is Joshua Becker from becomingminimalist.com, and I would like you first of all to welcome my special guest Anthony from Break the Twitch. Wonderful,
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
It's great to have you on the show.
All right.
Now, as I understand, you are planning to interview me.
So I was thinking it would be great to talk a little bit about what we're doing here this weekend. We've got SimpleREV going on, SimpleREV 2015, and you're in town, so I figured we'd take this opportunity to talk a little bit more about what really you're super jazzed on right now, as Joel might say.
Joel Zavzlowski of SimpleREV, hashtag SimpleREV.
Hashtag SimpleREV on Twitter.
You can check out, by the time this airs, the conference will be over. So you'll be looking at old hashtags of old quotes that took place. But one of the things I love about it is that it's simple living advocates from all different walks of life, and not just bloggers, but a lot of creators and podcasts and doing a lot of different things. And so it's fun to get to speak to the whole group and I think speak a little bit into what I think some of the themes or some of the movements that I see happening in the simple living world. And last year I spoke on I just kind of encouraged people that this is a message that we should be sharing. Like, we should be very intentional about promoting minimalism and simple living and simplicity. But I hear some people like live minimalism, and they love it, but then like, but it's for me. It doesn't have to be for everyone else, and so I don't really want to push it on people. But I'm like, no, man. If you found a better way to live, like if you found a good restaurant, you would tell your friends. If you read a good book, you would tell your friends. And so, like, this is a message we need to be sharing. This is a loving thing that we can be doing. So. That was last year.
So I remember last year, one of your main points with that is that it has to be about more than money. It has to be kind of about more than me to make sure that this movement continues. Right?
Yeah. I kind of talked about how do we keep this trend moving on into the future. Today, then, for this SimpleREV, I just finished a book. I just finished the manuscript for a book, The More of Less, and I finished the last chapter, and the book is about living with less, and it's about minimalism so that you can pursue whatever you're most passionate about. And I mean that, and people are free to choose whatever they want to do with the freedom that simplicity provides in their lives. But the challenge today, and the challenge of the book, like the entire last chapter of the book is, but I think that we need to dream bigger than selfish dreams with the freedom that we have, that ultimately a other-centered approach to life, a selfless approach to life, that I'm spending less on material possessions and I have more money available, which I could just throw in savings and add zeros to my bank account. But I think ultimately you'll find more fulfillment by being generous, by helping other people, using some of the time you freed up to help other people, and find fulfillment that way. That ultimately that leads to far greater joy. Replacing material possessions with just selfish pursuits, I think, is short-sighted and sells all of our potential a bit short.
It seems like we always see this image of what the goal should be as being, I think you've mentioned it, like the picture of the chair on the beach, right? This idea that minimalism and reducing possessions is all about being able to, in a way, selfishly just kind of check out and be done.
Yeah.
And that's not at all what you're saying, right? It's the opposite of that.
Yeah, and like generosity takes bravery. Like that was one of my points today, that so many of us want to be generous, but I think we get caught up in thinking that selfish pursuits is the same as happiness. That the quickest way to happiness is to pursue like accumulation for my stuff, and even if it's not material possessions, it's accumulate leisure or more trips, right? Like more achievements, and I think that like happiness is found in helping others, and then the security piece of it, that even if we're not accumulating possessions or adding complexity and busyness to our lives, that we still live in a world where most people look for security in money and in financial well-being. But statistically, like even people with a net worth $1 to $5 million, like half of them don't even consider themselves wealthy. Like 30% of them
in the U.S.
like 30%.
That's amazing.
The statistics are between net worth of $1 to $5 million, that only 31% of them are content with their money, and most of them wish that they had a quarter more. And just the realization that we never ultimately find security in money. Even with a net worth of $5 million, people are wishing that they had more.
Like a quarter more of what, right?
Yeah.
Like always a quarter more will just always be a quarter more.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then ultimately just giving our lives to others, that's where we find security. I think the relationships that we build, knowing that our lives matter and they count for something, and I think just a generous view of the universe and the world, that if I give, it's going to come back to me in ways that are very real and lasting. But like generosity is an antidote to materialism. Like it really is. Like how do I overcome consumerism in my life, and how do I stop buying? How do I stop accumulating? And when I say start giving, like start supporting something you believe in, a local charity or a person who's doing something that you believe in very strongly. And as you do that, I think the value that you put on money changes, because your money is only as valuable as what you choose to spend it on. And so if you're just spending it on new jeans and new shirts or new televisions, then that's all it's worth. But when you start giving it in a way that changes people's lives, rescuing an orphan who doesn't have any parents and just changing the trajectory of their life forever,
right?
You realize that your money can have like eternal value, and it can be worth so much more than just things that you buy, little trinkets that so many of us get sucked into buying. So you're spot on. Good call. It's the antidote to materialism. When we realize our money can be spent on so many better things.
It's a powerful thing, and we're influenced in so many ways to spend it in ways that don't really do much for us.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you chatting and going over this stuff with us and sharing with the Break the Twitch viewers. And
Anthony's a good friend. I met him last year at SimpleREV, and we've become, I think, pretty good friends since then. I'm staying in his house right now. Second time I got to stay at your house. And
always welcome.
And hey, good for you. If you're following Anthony's stuff, good for you. He's if you've never met him in person, he's as real in person as he is online, and even better.
I'm blushing
So,
over here.
that's good. You're authentic, man. I appreciate you and what you're doing for the movement.
Likewise, yeah. I couldn't say enough of the same.
Quite literally, in that moment, I could not say enough of the same because I was kind of flustered. So I'm taking this opportunity while I'm editing the vlog just to say, seriously, Joshua from BecomingMinimalist.com has been a great friend to me and a huge inspiration with what I'm trying to accomplish with BreakTheTwitch.com. Everything he's done has just been awesome, and he's seriously the most humble, just gracious person, and he's just out to help people and do amazing things, which is why I believe in the Hope Effect, which is going to be happening in November, why I've personally supported it, and just literally anything he does, I will jump on board with, because he just is truly all about it, and he means every word that he says. So with that in mind, I'll let you finish the video.
This has been vlog number 11. And I'm Joshua from Becoming Minimalist, and this is Anthony from Break the Twitch.
Have a good week.